Hi there, my name is Andrew. I'm with the Maloney Method. We make digital and printed educational resources. We also provide educational coaching and consulting services. In the last help videos, we signed up for free lessons in the new Maloney Method Digital Learning platform. We then added a student to our classroom and played a video from the task list in Lesson 1. Maloney Method Digital Learning gives you a digital teacher's assistant. You focus on your student's skills, behavior, and progress, while the student follows the video instructions. You can even use our digital learning platform with video meeting apps. Today, I want to cover these questions. What are fluency checks, and how are they used in the program? And how do I contact Michael if I want to report on my student's success, or if I have a question and my student is struggling? So let's get started with an example. I'm going to go to my classroom and my student. Lessons 1 to 4 have no fluency checks. Fluency checks start with Lesson 5. Let's fast forward a bit here and say that my student has completed Lessons 1 to 5, but now has to complete the fluency checks. This is the screen for Sound Fluency Check 1. Instructions for the teacher are written below. Say to the student, "This is a list of all the sounds you have learned so far. I want to find out how well you know these sounds." I am going to time you for 30 seconds now to see how many of these sounds you can say correctly. We will practice this list for 5 lessons. You must be able to say at least 25 sounds correctly in the 30-second time period. If you are unable to do this, I will reteach you the first 5 lessons. The timer is right here on screen. When you and your student are ready, click Start. The timer counts down. Then in this simple form, you fill in how many sounds the student got right and how many sounds the student can review, the learning opportunities. Each check has a standard or a behavioral objective. The standard behavioral objective for students beginning to learn sounds or phonics is see and say 50 to 60 sounds correctly in 1 minute with no more than 2 learning opportunities. In 30 seconds then, you want the student to reach 25 to 30 correct sounds. Students mustn't go too fast or too slow for the sound fluency check. Let's say my student got 23 sounds, but had 4 mistakes or learning opportunities. I subtract the learning opportunities, 23 minus 4, that's 19. I then put the numbers 19 and 4 in the form, and then I click Submit. My student has not reached fluency on this first try, but will get there with more practice. Now, where does that data go? Let's go back to the classroom and click on the Sound Fluency tab. The data we just added in Lesson 5 is now appearing here in this table. Corrects, 19, learning opportunities, 4, and total attempts. You can use this same fluency check again and again with your student for more practice. Now, back to Lesson 5. The word fluency check works the same way. The standard behavioral objective for students beginning to learn to read words and lists is see and say 60 to 80 words correctly in 1 minute, with no more than 2 learning opportunities. In 30 seconds, then, you want the students to reach 30 to 40 correct words. If your student goes higher with good accuracy, that's fine for the word list. That's a sign of progress and confidence with reading. If your student reaches the last word, simply have them go back to the first word and keep reading until the 30 seconds is up. I'm going to say my student reached 36 words, but had 5 errors. That means 31 corrects, 5 errors, and I submit. I can then go back to the classroom and click on the Word Fluency tab this time. And here's my data for Lesson 5. 31 corrects, 5 learning opportunities. The very same sound check and word check are repeated in Lesson 6, Lesson 7, Lesson 8, and Lesson 9. So your student has lots of opportunities to practice and improve, and you can redo the task in each lesson as needed. Just time your student again, fill in the corrects and LOs, and the new data is saved. Now, a little change. In Lesson 10, we also have an alphabet fluency check. And then we have a story reading fluency check. Again, read the script, prepare the student, and do the timing. You can then fill in corrects and learning opportunities and submit. The app takes care of the data. Now, if you are familiar with a Standard Celeration Chart, you know this data can be put together in a chart display form. Here is our new feature in the learning system that turns the data into a chart. I have entered into the system timing data for a period of days. Lesson 6, 20 correct, 3 learning opportunities. Lesson 7, 22 correct, 2 learning opportunities. Lesson 8, 24 corrects, 1 LO. And Lesson 9, 26 correct, 1 LO. This data is good for showing how much practice a child has put into the fluency checks. But let's say we want an easy-to-read graph display of the data and visual chart of the student progress. That's where the Standard Celeration Chart comes in. We click on this button here for the chart. The data from the table is now on the chart with the data points per minute. The scores for our 30-second timings have doubled. On this first point, for example, the student had 19 corrects in 30 seconds, or 38 in a minute. The student had 4 LOs, or in this case, 8 in a minute. On that same day, I did another timing. This one got 20, and now correct 40. As well, the LOs were 3, and so this is 6. When we were done with Lesson 9, we went on to Lesson 10. Lesson 10 has a new fluency check, though. Sound Fluency Check number 2. This check includes the new sounds from Lessons 6 to 10. Take note of the labels on the chart. SFC1. That stands for Sound Fluency Check number 1. When you get to Sound Fluency Check number 2, where does that data go? Well, as you can see by this data point, from Lesson 10, SFC2 timings can show on the same chart as well. You get a whole picture of the student's progress through the SFC1 phase for Lessons 5 to 9. And then we can look at the next phase, which would be SFC2, or Lessons 10 to 14. Michael wants to hear about student progress and student data. He loves hearing about student success, and he wants to hear about struggling students even more, because no kid deserves to be frustrated or confused when learning how to read. Michael will want to know your fluency check data, so use this data from the student's corrects, learning opportunities, and the charts. Data helps show what changes or accommodations can be made. Take a screenshot of the data charts when reporting to Michael. You can then email Michael and attach those screenshots of data. His email is michael@maloneymethod.com. Be sure to tell Michael your name, your student's name, the lesson you are on, and attach your student's fluency check data. Then tell Michael about the problem. Or, if your student is doing well, celebrate. Tell Michael what your student accomplished. If you need help with taking a screenshot, do an internet search or email us at help@maloneymethod.com and include your operating system or device. We'll help you each step of the way. The Maloney Method also has a toll-free number, 1-877-368-1513. But remember, have your student data ready. All right, we have gone through the fluency checks. We have sent a message to Michael about our student progress. In the next help video, I will go through the profile page where you can change account information, the instructors page where you can add an instructor to your organization, and we'll look at the students' points chart for reward programs. Thanks for your time. Take care and teach your children well.